Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Chef Swain. Today we are doing chicken parm sandwiches. First things first, we're gonna make our sauce because that needs to simmer away for about 45 minutes. And while that's happening, we can do all of the other tasks involved. A good marinara has very few ingredients and the flavor magnifies from reducing the sauce. The key here is to get really good canned tomatoes. I tried a few different types and landed on a specific can of San Marzanos I get from my local shop that I very much like. So I'm gonna medium dice 2 onions and mince up about 6 cloves of garlic. Someone requested a quick tip on how to mince garlic, so here it is. Peel your garlic by smashing the cloves, which will make the skin peel off easier. Take off the little nub at the base, and then I slice the garlic thin and then rock my knife back and forth through the sliced garlic. Just keep gathering it up and rocking your knife back and forth like so. Once it's minced enough, you can add a little salt and press it with the side of your knife to turn it into more of a paste. You can continue to run your knife through and smash with the side until you reach the consistency that you want. I just need minced garlic, so I'm not going to take it much further than right about here. Voila! Minced garlic. In a big pot, you're going to get a couple of glugs of olive oil, and then bloom your red pepper flakes and anchovy paste in the oil until the anchovy dissolves. We are using our wooden spoon here because tomatoes are acidic and can react poorly to metals, so you don't want to be scraping metal spoon against metal pot. Once your anchovies are dissolved, you're going to add your onions and garlic. Sweat those onions until translucent, like so. At this point, we're going to add in our crushed tomatoes. This is my favorite type to use, but it's always good to find your own favorite because different companies have different processes and different tomatoes, and some have basil and some don't have basil. So do some experimenting and figure out which is your favorite. I'm just going to add a sprinkle of salt here and stir that in as well. Alright, quick tour of my stovetop. In the lower left is the burner that is largest and puts out the hottest flame. Then the top left is this small burner, and that's great for simmering, so we're going to use that for our sauce. Just going to move this over and let it simmer on medium-low for about 45 minutes. Now let's talk chicken. I'm using chicken breasts here today, but you can use tenders as well. If you're going to use chicken breasts, you should slice them in half and then pound them flat. Some chicken breasts come already pre-sliced, so give it an eye and see what yours is like. The goal here is to have a piece of chicken that's about the same thickness all the way through. If you were using chicken breasts as well, I put them between 2 layers of saran wrap and then pound them flat with my cast iron. The key to getting your saran wrap to stick to the counter is to just wipe it down with a wet rag first, like so. When pounding it flat, you want to make sure they are pretty thin at the end. This will make it so that they cook as evenly as possible in the oil. Alright, once that is done, it's time to get started setting up our breading station. For our breadcrumb, we'll be using 2 cups of panko, a hefty sprinkle of grated Parmesan, and then I'm going to mince up some parsley as well. When mincing herbs, you should make sure your herbs are as dry as possible and your knife is as sharp as possible. If your knife isn't sharp, it will be essentially just bruising the herbs in half instead of cutting nice and easily through them. Just like the garlic, we're going to slice this thin and then run our knife through it a couple more times while rocking back and forth just to get that mince. There's some really good pre-made breadcrumb mixes that are just as good as this, so go that way if you want. I just prefer to season my own. Whisk it all together and let's get ready to rumble! Once again, I have everything out and ready to go. We're going to be working left to right today, so keeping one hand for our dry ingredients and one hand for our wet ingredients, we're going to shake off any excess flour or egg. Once we reach the panko section, make sure that every single part is covered. You don't want any dry sections. Continue to bread all of your cutlets this way, and at the very end, lay them on a wire rack. I like to keep aluminum foil under this just to keep everything kind of nice and neat and easier to clean at the very end. Once they're all breaded and done, put them in the fridge for 10 minutes. Leaving it in the fridge will let the egg begin to hydrate the breadcrumbs and will really form the nice crust you are looking for. I'm using a mixture of canola and olive oil to do my frying here. If you don't have this blended oil, you can mix your own and do about 50-50 of each. You're going to need about a ½ inch of oil to fry in. The oil should be about medium-high heat when you drop your cutlets into the pan. Don't overcrowd your pan because putting cold cutlets into hot oil will bring down the overall temperature, so don't put too many in at once. I also like to keep an eye on my temperature because the goal is to end up with an even gold brown crust like this. And if your oil is too hot, the crust will be spotty and your thinner parts will cook much quicker than the rest. You're going to set the broiler part of your oven to high and start assembling your Parmesan. I like to lay down a protective layer of mozzarella, then do my sauce so that my cutlet doesn't immediately get soggy. Go mozzarella, sauce, mozzarella, making sure to leave some untouched areas around the edges that will get extra crispy from the oven. Alright, time to put these in the oven. This should take only about a couple minutes, and feel free to check in every so often to make sure you are getting the desired color on these that you want. And this right here is what you're looking for. Your mozz is completely melty and spotted in some areas from the broiler. You could stop here and serve these bad boys over some pasta, but y'all know I love sandwiches and I got to put these on a sandwich. So I've got a nice seeded hoagie roll from a local place and I'm going to just lay them on top of each other. And as you can kind of see, I set it up on this pan so that I could easily put it on my sandwich roll. Top with one last grated Parmesan and you are ready to dig in. Honestly, chicken parm is so high up there on my list of favorite foods, and I'm so glad I got to share this with y'all today, as well as with Obi here. If you like this video, please like and subscribe below. I put out videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you for watching, have a magnificent day, and may your quest for food knowledge be bountiful.